Hey guys, Toast here. Today I want to talk about the importance of anti-tank tools in Battlefield 1. As I'm sure you're all well aware, vehicles are an essential part of the core gameplay and can be immensely powerful when in the right hands. Lately I've been seeing vehicles run amok with little contest in a number of games, so I felt that this would be an opportune time to discuss why focusing on anti-tank is extremely important to securing your team the win. I'm going to focus mainly on ground vehicles today since AA vs planes is something I consider to be its own separate category for a handful of reasons. Pretty much all tanks in the game, whether it be light tank, heavy tank, landship, or Saint Chamon, can be devastating when controlled by a skilled individual, particularly if that individual has some backup in the form of additional gunners or someone repairing externally. Many a game you'll find someone at or near the top of the scoreboard with a very high kill count who was left to wreak havoc on the enemy team, which very well could have provided the win. In addition to being armored killing machines, tanks can also be an incredible asset to capturing a position. Not only do you have the additional health and damage of the vehicle, but you'll also find that infantry are more likely to jump on an objective and help out when they know that they have the support of a solid tank driver to protect them. Enemy vehicles are a distinct threat to your team, and there seems to be many times when they're just left to their own devices. The thing is, it's relatively easy to stop them when you do a little preparation and have just a small amount of cooperation. One of the most incredible tools provided to you on some of the maps is the Tankgewehr Tank Hunter class. For those of you who may not have used this, you're provided with an extremely high-powered anti-tank rifle that's capable of taking out most vehicles in the game with a maximum of 4 shots. The weapon has a velocity rivaling many of the scout rifles, which means that you can deal really significant damage to both infantry and vehicles from a safe distance. If you're closed in on, you have a secondary sawed-off shotgun to deal high damage at close range. This kit is one of the biggest resources to your team in terms of stopping enemy armor, and it also seems to be the one elite kit that tends to sit available for a while in its spawn before someone finally decides to take it. While I'm not going to claim to know all of the factors as to why, I do feel it's at least worth noting that the Tank Hunter kit is the least used elite kit in Battlefield 1, despite it appearing on many if not more maps than the other elite classes. Now obviously the Tank Hunter kit isn't always going to be available, so you of course have many standard infantry options for anti-tank as well. The Assault class is obviously the go-to class when it comes to dealing high damage to ground vehicles because of all of the tools at your disposal: AT mines, AT grenades, AT rocket gun, dynamite. So while this class is likely to be the most effective against tanks, that doesn't mean that you can't be effective or help out your assaults with the other classes. One of the benefits of the current class setup in Battlefield 1 is that every class has access to a couple anti-vehicle options. The Medic class has access to high explosive rifle grenades, which will help deal some damage to heavy vehicles, and can actually have a pretty significant impact on smaller vehicles like jeeps or motorcycles. The Scout class has their K-bullets, which allow you to deal damage to vehicles from afar, and while not extremely heavy hitting, can still be quite effective, particularly at stopping a vehicle that's backed off to repair from being able to do so. Then you have the Support class, which despite not being a primary anti-tank class, is still capable of being a powerhouse against armor. Between the limpet charges and high explosive mortars, you have the capability of dealing some pretty significant damage to enemy armor, which can either net you the vehicle destroy or make it significantly easier for your fellow assaults to finish the job. You also have access to the high explosive crossbow launcher, but that's a little bit less effective than the other options. Then there's the one tool that's available to all classes that I don't see used nearly as frequently as I feel it should be, which is the light anti-tank grenade. This little beauty can be a game changer against enemy armor, and is something that you can run on any and all base classes. In combination with either the Support or Assault class, you can actually have the capability of taking out light vehicles entirely on your own. Against heavy vehicles, it's a quick way of dealing around 15 damage instantly from any mid-range position, as long as you can get down the arc of the throw. You'll often see vehicles with just a sliver of health left, backing off to repair, and one light anti-tank grenade is all you would need to finish the job. If you're running in a squad where even just 3 out of the 5 players are using this grenade, you already have almost 50% damage against a heavy tank right there. Now obviously you give up some power against infantry by running this, but I honestly run this grenade on all vehicle heavy maps regardless of what class I'm running, so that I can at least give a little boost to our team's effort. Ultimately, there will always be games where enemy armor is making your team's life a living hell, and where your team is going to do little about it, but if you can at least do your part and put forth some effort using the tools available to you, regardless of what class you're running, then I think you'll find that the enemy armor will be much less impactful on your team's ability to win the game than if you were to let it run freely. Now I want to hear your thoughts on the current armor versus anti-armor situation in Battlefield 1. Do you like that all the classes have access to these tools? Or perhaps you think that it should only be relegated to one class? Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more content, please subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Toast, and I'll talk to you soon.